런던의 세 번째 날이 밝았습니다. 오늘은 조금 춥습니다. 약간 살랑하다 이런 느낌. 9시 반인데 아직도 많이 어둡고요. 지금 저는 슈퍼에 왔습니다. 아침에 뭐 먹지 하다가 망고를 샀습니다. 이만큼에 6,000원이에요. 6,000원. 와, 태국 갔을 때하고 온도차 너무 심하죠?
A few moments later.
여러분, 보통 영국 음식하면 맛없다 그러잖아요, 그죠? 근데 이 망고도 맛없는 거는 진짜, 와, 이거는 좀 너무한 거 아닌가. 얘들아, 가나에서 수입을 하지 말고 저기 필리핀에서 해. 태국이나. 왜 가나에서 망고를 수입을 해? 아, 진짜 그냥 먹을만 한데 어떤 피스는 먹다가 배 탔어요. 아, 이건 좀 심했다 진짜. 원래 사과 주스 마실까 하다가 근데 마트에 주스가 겁나 다 큰 사이즈만 파는 거예요. 딱 들어왔는데 너무 무거워.
미끼를 확 물어버리고 지금. 우와. 우와. 우와.
개쩔죠?
와. 아, 뭐야? 카메라야? 아이씨. 와.
망고를 샀는데 너무 맛이 없는 거예요.
와, 눈깔 빠지겠다. 와.
너무 시고 텁텁하고.
3일치 비타민이 들어있는.
지금 알드위치 거리를 지나고 있습니다. 알드위치 포스트 오피스. 아저씨, 일어나시면 안 됩니다. 날씨가 조금 쌀쌀하긴 한데 그래도 충분히 괜찮은 것 같아요. 잠이 깹니다. 시원하니. 지금 말씀드린 순간에 세인트폴 대성당에 왔습니다. 네, 오늘은 런던 타워 브리지 쪽이랑 런던 타워 쪽을 갈 거라서 여기는 내일 오도록 하겠습니다. 와, 근데 너무 이쁘네요. 웅장하다. 정말. 웅장하다는 표현이 그냥 말 그대로인 것 같아요. 와, 정말 멋지다. 내일 봐요. 저 시계 저 금일까? 내일 봐요. 세인트폴. 저 꼭대기에 저기 금인 것 같아. 그냥 동네 돌아다니는 거죠 지금. 저기 건너편에 보이는 게 타워 브리지. 저기 좀 이따 갈 거고요. 여기 건너편에 보이는 것이 타워 오브 런던이고요. 런던의 놀이터입니다. 나무로 된 그네하고 미끄럼틀하고.
A few moments later.
자, 지금 웨스트민스터에 도착을 했어요. 원래 여기 올 예정이 아니었는데 버스 노선 도저히 1도 이해를 못하겠어서 오다 보니까 이렇게 왔습니다. 어딜 가나 멋져서 그냥 길을 헤매도 좋은 것 같아요. 여기 좀
비겁한 변명입니다.
자, 런던패스를 일단 사용해야 되기 때문에 어디로 들어가는지 좀 찾아볼게요. 그냥 배 타러 갑시다. 갈매기가 있어요. 저희 지금 런던패스로 한 거 딱 2개밖에 없어요. 버스 타고 지금 배 타고. 아 근데 너무 좋아. 다리랑 허리가 아파서 그런 거 아닙니다. 진짜 좋아요. 꼭 타보셔야 되는 것 중에 하나가 아닙니다.
진짜로 와.
Loves it. He loves it. He's there every day. He loves it. Now we only say to you people, get the people on the bridge waving, because if you get them waving, it distracts their hands from throwing things at you. All right. So there's a lot of bridges on the way, and if you do get a wave back, it just means those people they're on holiday, enjoying themselves, having the time of their life. Don't worry if they ignore you though. It just means they're from London and they're miserable. Okay. So. Don't take it to heart. They say us Londoners we're grumpy. I don't fit in with that. The soul of the party, mate. Over to your right, the beautiful glass-fronted building of the Royal Festival Hall, the last remaining concert hall to stand from the festivals of Great Britain. Now, over the years, many amazing artists have performed inside of that building. The likes of David Bowie, Whitney Houston, Jimi Hendrix, Marilyn Monroe, Michael Jackson, and Blue Eyes himself, Mr. Frank Sinatra, to name a few of the world's greats that performed inside that building. Now some of you may have just realised all of those people that I just mentioned, they all sadly have one thing in common. They're no longer with us anymore. So now me personally, I'm just waiting for the Justin Bieber concert to happen inside the Royal Festival Hall. Is it too late to say sorry? They get worse. We're not even started yet, people. We've got ages left. This next bridge in front of us is the Waterloo Road Bridge, the longest spanning bridge on the River Thames, at just over 1/4 mile long. It's nicknamed here in London as the Ladies' Bridge. Now it's given that nickname as it's built in the Second World War for over 65% population of female workers. As the ladies do, they chose the most expensive stone to build the bridge from, as a surprise. The outside is very clean and underneath is very dirty. That's because when it rains here in London, which you all probably know, it doesn't happen very often here in London, but when it does, the outside of the bridge, it gets a thorough wash. So as we come through Waterloo Bridge, if you look over to your right hand side, behind the trees on the south bank, you can see a building with an electronic billboard at the very top. Now to me, that looks like a multi-storey car park. But as you can see there, it says National Theatre. That is London's National Theatre, ladies and gentlemen. Inside that theatre, you have 3 of the finest theatres anywhere in the country. Not just here in London, but all throughout the country. The Olivier Theatre being voted at #1, the very best out of the bunch. It's also the biggest one
어제 저는 저기
Now there is an old
뒤쪽에서
saying, don't judge a book
사진을
by its
찍었습니다.
cover. That really does go for the theatre, as for the last 10 years in a row, it's been voted the ugliest building to sit alongside the banks of the River Thames. Okay? Prince Charles himself even said that is the ugliest building he has ever seen in his life.
10년 연속으로 템즈강 주변에서 가장 못생긴
Prince Charles does know a thing or two about being ugly, doesn't he? So we'll leave that one with him. We got a few fans of the Royals, have we? Okay. Over to your right hand side, you can see the building standing alone in the middle there. Looks like a block of flats. Now that tall building and the white glass fronted building beneath it comes together to form the complex called Kent House. The ITV filming studios here in the UK, Channel 3 to us Brits, where most of Britain's rubbish is filmed daily and put on our television. Such shows as Good Morning Britain, The Loose Women, The X Factor, and Britain's Got No Talent all comes filmed from those studios at Kent House over to your right hand side, ladies and gentlemen. Now as we pass these vessels, these little boats and these moorings on your right hand side, the tide's coming into London, but before it reaches its highest peak, you are now about to witness the 8th wonder of the world, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a look over there, you can see the South Bank Riviera Beach. Have a look at that, folks. Beautiful. Where the kids go to play in the golden sands. Men in having midlife crises go there every day to build sandcastles. And children go to play in the sparkling polluted water. Not forgetting the broken glass and the rusty nails. Once upon a time, someone once told me, a customer on these boats, he said, did you know, a few years ago, on that beach, he looked at me very seriously. He said, a few years ago on that beach, did you know, when I was in the TV and film industry, they used that beach to film Baywatch. Can you believe it? I don't know if I believe it, but it does look beautiful, doesn't it? They don't use it for Baywatch now, just neighbours and home and away.
농담인지 진담인지 잘 못 알아듣겠어요. 베이브리지 촬영하는데 저 해변을 썼다고.
Above the tide and the moss line, below the black lamppost, you can see you have these green lions' heads. They was an old flood indicator for the Metropolitan Police back in the day here in the city of London. Now if the water was up to the lion's mouth, they would evacuate all underground businesses and underground tube stations, getting everyone above the sea level to a much safer place. They come up with a little rhyme to help them remember this by. It's very easy if you think you know it, folks. Please join in, don't be shy. If the lions are drinking, London is sinking. There you go, very easy. Well, us Londoners and watermen come up with a much better rhyme, of course, but ours goes like this. If the lion names are ducked, London is well and truly flooded. Not all poems after all. Got kids in front of me, I'm all the best behaviour. Now in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Blackfriars Road Bridge, okay? I'm giving you a heads up warning because at the side of each archway, folks, right at the top are the concrete columns of the statues there. Right at the very top as we get closer, you will see you have statues or figurines of birds. Now on this side of the bridge, on the upper side of the Thames, you have land-going birds. And on the lower side of the bridge, they are said to be sea-going birds. Now I don't have a clue what the difference is, because they both look the same to me. But directly in the middle of this bridge, we are shortly about to pass beneath, is where the Victorians used to believe that the seawater used to come into London and meet the fresh or the Thames water. We now know that's not true. It's actually a lot further upriver, miles behind us. But you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, right at the top there, on each side of the archway, the figurines of birds, just underneath the little legs. As I said, this is the Blackfriars Road Bridge. In front, the new Blackfriars Railway Bridge. These are the closest bridges to sit together here on the River Thames. Me personally, I have given this area the nickname of the Tunnel of Love, okay? So don't be shy, folks. Pucker up and give your loved ones a kiss. It's said to give you good luck. Now it doesn't matter if you're not with your loved ones today, everyone. I've heard if you kiss your husband and wife, it works exactly the same. So give it a go. Any single ladies, I am available. Sometimes works. Any single men, my friend driving the boat, he's very open-minded, alright? Make a cue because he's quite fussy. Over to your left-hand side, dominating part of the London skyline. The beautiful masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren's St Paul's Cathedral, the second largest unsupported domed roof in the world. Beautiful building. Stands at a height of 365 foot tall. Very easy to remember as it is a foot tall for each day of the year. Now it's open to the public for a small fee from Monday to Saturday. If you want to go there on Sunday, it's totally free. They have a free Sunday mass service. So go there on a Sunday if you wish, or have a look. It's a very beautiful place. If it's raining here in London, go and check it out, folks. Very beautiful. Over to your right-hand side, you can see this large building with a tall red chimney in the middle. This is the old Bankside Power Station. Used to supply electricity to the southeastern side of London, over to your right. It is now home, as you can see at the top, to the Tate Modern Art Gallery, home to some of the most expensive and finest pieces of artwork from all around the world. And that art gallery, it is completely free to go inside and have a look around. And if any of you on board today have ever seen or know anything about modern art, you will understand why that building is completely free to go inside and have a look around. You go inside that art gallery, folks, you get burnt out cars and pile of bricks. That's modern art. What do I know? Over to your right, you can see above the Bankside there, a white rounded building, thatched roof and oak beams. That is a replica of William Shakespeare's Rose and Globe Theatre. I say it's the second because that's what it is. The first one was burnt down in a live performance. They had the king watching on from the stands, and they fired a live cannon through the roof, and it burnt the place down to the ground. Now the only building here in London to have a legal permit of having a thatched roof after the Great Fire of London. It took them 30 years to get planning permission to do so. Still to this day, you can go inside that theatre and watch one of Shakespeare's many, many plays. The likes of Romeo and Juliet and all the others that no one can ever remember, for just a small price of only £5. Very cheap here in London for live entertainment, folks, considering you cannot get a pint of beer in a London pub for less than £5. I'm not an alcoholic, I just know the prices of beer. This next bridge is Southwark Bridge, the least used bridge here in the city of London. Very hard to find as it's built in the back streets of the city. It's built to take and help out with the traffic from the old London Bridge, a few bridges in front of where we are now. The only people that we find driving across this bridge are London's professional drivers. Taxis, lorries, buses and coaches, ladies and gentlemen. As we come through the bridge, you'll see the newspaper headquarters for the Financial Times to your right. Go along to the river wall, you'll see a very small red brick building with red window frames. That is the Anchor pub at Bankside. Very nice pub to watch the world go by, have a drink, see the boats at night and London's nightlife. One of the oldest pubs here in London, folks, and one of the oldest on the River Thames. Been there for well over 400 years. Now over them years, many amazing, amazing people have been inside that pub. The likes of Charles Dickens, Sir Christopher Wren, William Shakespeare, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill and myself. Thank you very much. It's amazing people. Believe it or not, that's where me and my colleague Dave, who's driving the boat, we go there every day after work to do hours and hours of intense research on giving for this guide right now, folks. So you better like it, okay? Now, do we have any Pirates of the Caribbean fans on board today? A couple of you, okay. Get your cameras ready, folks. Because in a minute you'll see the back end of an old pirate ship there. Can you all see that? Well, that old pirate ship there, that has nothing to do with the films whatsoever. A few cameras went down a bit quick. That's a working replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind, circled and navigated around this globe like the original twice. Put on task by Queen Elizabeth I to go round the Spanish Isles and take all of the pirate ship's gold and treasure. Nowadays, children go on board where they dress them up as pirates and they let them run around for a couple of hours. Why do children do that? Mum and Dad go to the pub next door where they also run around and play for a couple of hours. In London, folks, we call that a traditional family day out. Leave the kids with strangers and go and get drunk. Works a treat. Worked for me anyway. This next bridge, the world famous London Bridge. Now everyone mistakes London Bridge for the big blue bridge in front of us, but that's Tower Bridge. This is London Bridge. This is the 5th London Bridge to have stood here. The very first one was built by the Romans, made out of wood, when they went ashore in their boats over to your left-hand side. The very first bridge in the city. They named this area Londinium. We then shortened that many years later to what it is now, London. And when they built the bridge, they built a square perimeter around it, the square mile. Still to this day, that square mile hasn't moved any, and that is where our city of London is inside. Over to your right, London Bridge Hospital, the most expensive private hospital here in the city of London. Inside that hospital, they specialise in heart attacks. Now you could go inside that hospital with a sprained wrist or a broken ankle. You'll have your treatment, you'll then receive your bill or your receipts. You will then suffer a heart attack, folks, because it is that expensive, believe me. Coming up in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, oh sorry, on your right hand side, not in front of us, you have the Shard, or the Shard of Glass, the tallest building to stand here in Western Europe. Stands at a height, you want to dance? I haven't had my lessons today, but we can do. Stands at a height of 120 foot tall, 1,020 foot tall, sorry. Home to the 6-star Shangri-La Hotel, has a casino in the basement, restaurants, a viewing gallery, and a multi-million-pound apartment at the top. Designed by an Italian architect called Renzo Piano. Offered £2 million for his architectural work on designing the Shard. He turned it down and he asked for a penthouse apartment, as you do. Now the man, he got his wish, and he had that apartment for 1 year and 1 year only, before selling it on to make a lovely little profit of £45 million. Not bad for something he got for free last time.
자, 좀 이따 이 벨파스트
Look
전화
very
할
carefully
겁니다.
to your right hand side now, folks. It is camouflage, so I wouldn't want you to miss it. The HMS Belfast. Built in Northern Ireland, Belfast, in the Harlem and Wolff shipyard. The same shipyard as which the ill-fated Titanic was also built in. This has just lasted that little bit longer. All around the back and the front and the side, you have 6-inch cannons. Now they had the power to fire the weight of a 100-pound caliber shell over 14 land miles. It's also the very first vessel in the world to be fitted with a radar system. Now you can see it's an extension of floating museums to the Imperial War Museum, where you can visit all 9 decks from top to bottom to give you a feel of what it was like in the Second World War. Now ladies and gentlemen, I know everyone wants to take photos and that, but we do ask, take your photos quick and remain seated. Of course, this is for your own safety. We're in a busy part of the river now, other boats can make it a little bit wobbly, okay? Wouldn't want anyone to fall over and hurt themselves. But in front of us, you can see the most photographed bridge in the world. Now what we're going to do, because I said we're a nice crew on board today, we're going to take you close to the bridge. We're going to turn the boat around and the bridge will be on your right hand side. Tower Bridge will be on your right hand side, so you can get a lovely photo of the bridge. Now Tower Bridge is a part suspension and bascule bridge. That means the middle part is bascule and it can lift up like a double-sided drawbridge in under 90 seconds to a full 90-degree angle. That's why it's given the nickname the gateway to the City of London. Because in the summer months, nothing like now, this is probably our best summer we've ever had. It's freezing. The bascule's open to let taller ships in to this part of the River Thames. Cruise liners, warships and tall sailing mast vessels, where they moor up alongside the HMS Belfast, where they stay in London for a few days and then jet off to somewhere probably a lot more exotic. But as I said, Tower Bridge is the most photographed bridge in the world. It's also the only bridge in the world to be licensed and insured as being a ship or a vessel and not a bridge. Because on board that bridge, 24/7, you have a full-time crew of captains, mates and engineers. Because the bridge with 24 hours notice, if your ship meets the requirements, you can open the bascules and give it free pass into the City of London. Tower Bridge does look a lot older, but it actually celebrated its 125th birthday this year, only a few months ago. As I said, it looks a lot older to fit in with its Gothic style with its neighbour, the Tower of London. The oldest part of that castle is the tower in the middle, founded by William the Conqueror at the end of 1066. But on the river wall there, ladies and gentlemen, you can see entry to the Traitor's Gate. Now, if you was caught for committing any crime or treason back in the olden days, you would be rowed through that gateway on a high tide on a rowing boat, and there would be a lovely man waiting at the other side of that archway to take the top of your head off with an axe. Your head would be then dipped in tar, put on a spike, walked around London before being stuck on London Bridge to warn anyone off of committing the same crimes. We now have a much worse punishment in this country, ladies and gentlemen. It's called community service. You get free housing with that these days. It's terrible how they treat these criminals. Now listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to ask now that you all remain seated while the boat manoeuvres into Tower Pier. But listen carefully to this travel information I'm about to pass on. It will benefit every single one of you, I'm sure. This next stop is Tower Pier. Once this boat leaves Tower Pier, we will be making our way downriver through Tower Bridge to a lovely place called Greenwich, the Royal Borough of Greenwich. A lot to do and a lot to see in Greenwich. If you've got your kids with you, take them there. It's much cheaper than being in the city. Most things are free.